got frustrated because I couldn't find the knitting patterns I wanted. So I came up with a simple method of designing my own sweater, and I'd like to share it with you. I've created a series of short videos that will talk about taking body measurements, getting an accurate stitch gauge, and combining those two things to design a sweater just for you. Now I've chosen a very simple design here, a V-neck pullover sweater with set-in sleeves to demonstrate this method. I chose this simple style to more clearly demonstrate the design principles involved. Now you don't have to be any particular size to use this method. The sweater I'm knitting in the videos is for my niece, who's an extra small, but I've used it and I'm a plus size. There are a couple of nice things about this method. First of all, the sweater is knit all in one piece. You won't have any final assembly when it's over, no separate pieces of a sweater that need to be sewn together. There's no drafting involved. You won't have to try and draft a sleeve cap, which if you've tried, you know can be difficult. There's no computer design software required and no knitter's graph paper, and you can knit the whole sweater using one circular needle. Let's take a quick look at this method. I'll start the sweater at the bottom, knitting in the round, so I'll be casting on circular needles. I'll join the stitches and then knit a couple inches of ribbing, and then I'll switch to stockinette stitch, which in the round is knit every row, and I'll knit straight up to the armholes. At this point you have sort of a big tube. At the armholes I'll divide the sweater into front and back yokes. I'll continue in stockinette, but I'll be knitting flat, that is, knit the right side, purl the wrong side. I'll show you how to shape the armholes. At the same time, we create a V-neck, and then I'll use short rows to shape the shoulders. I'll switch to the back and shape the armholes and the shoulders exactly the same way as I did on the front, and also create a shallow rounded neck in the back. When that's done, I'll use a 3-needle bind off to seam the shoulders, and our body is finished. At this point you can try the sweater on for fit, and if everything's okay, we'll move on to the sleeves. The sleeves are worked in the round from the top down, so we will pick up stitches around the armhole and then use short rows to shape a sleeve cap, and then continue on in the round and add a few rows of ribbing to form a cuff. Now you can try the sleeve on at any time in the process and check for fit. We'll add the other sleeve using the same method. Then we'll go back, pick up stitches around our neckline, knit our neckline ribbing, and your sweater's done. A few final comments. These videos are not intended to teach you how to knit. If you'd like to learn, there's lots of help available. Your local yarn shop is a good place to start, and I've also listed a few links to online knitting tutorials. On the other hand, you don't need to be an expert to understand these videos. I've taught this method to beginners. If you know how to cast on, knit, purl, increase, decrease, and bind off, and you've knit a couple of scarves and maybe a hat or two, you can tackle this method. If you're a more experienced knitter, it will be a breeze. And finally, I will demonstrate everything you need to use this method. Every step will have its own video. I'll show you the very simple math involved, provide separate tutorials on any special techniques like short rows, and demonstrate on an actual sweater. My goal is to give you the tools and the confidence to design and knit your own sweater. So let's get started with taking measurements.